Welcome to my tarot card reading for January 2015. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let's start with this brief introduction to your element, my dear Earth signs. Let's start here with the Nine of Pentacles, Saturn, Virgo. The Prince of Wands, Sagittarius, the Chariot of Sagittarius with Jupiter and the North Node, and the Four of Swords with Libra, Mercury. And this month, you Earth signs, is all about being practical. It's about being practical. It's about a lot of thinking, a lot of analysis, a lot of brooding, we could say that. And it's all about your goals, your philosophy of life. It's all about core values, if we can call it like that. What you think about life, where you should be in life, etc., etc., etc. It's all about that, my dear Earth signs. Yet here we have these cards, especially these ones that are very important, and it's signaling, hinting us that there is a desire to follow our goals, our objectives in life. And it makes sense because the year just started, so there's a lot of objectives, a lot of goals in mind, and this is what is spinning around. You have to remember that you are an Earth sign, therefore you're looking for stability, that area in life that is going to make you feel secure and safe. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, and then let's look now at each individual sign. Welcome to my tarot card reading for January 2015. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus, this is your reading. We have Oba, we have the Seven of Cups, we have Joan, Queen of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles representing Saturn and Virgo. So let's start with the Queen of Swords. We know the story behind this one. And Saint Joan, the Queen of Swords, Joan of Arc, or I'm sorry, she was, if she was on these days alive, she will be in a psychiatric ward with schizophrenia. Okay, with this, I'm telling you the story. She used to hear voices that would tell her what to do and what not to do, etc., etc. And that's how she won the fight, and the battle, and the war. Okay, so this is about inner voice. Then we have the Seven of Cups, that is about following our dreams. But these dreams are not realistic. They're all the way up high in the skies, in the clouds. And then we have Oba. And Oba, the story behind her, the only one that I know, is when she received an advice that had another intention. It was to harm her. But considering that this is about inner voice and your dreams, the advice that the tarot cards are giving you, my dear Taurus, is that you should be a little bit more realistic and more practical about the goals that you're setting up for this time of the year. Okay, it seems like you're going to pursue your dreams, your goals and objectives, but it looks like you're not going to be quite practical, and you need to be practical. Saturn Virgo is letting us know that you should pay closer attention to your goals, your objectives. analyze carefully. Take a very deep breath and be very honest with yourself and analyze everything. I'm giving you this as an advice because the tarot cards are letting me know that you're not going to do that. You're going to be very, very idealistic and you're going to follow your dream, but they're not realistic and practical. One thing is being optimistic and one thing is being idealistic. Okay, my dear Taurus? Okay, and now remember, at the end of this video we're going to have the rising sign, so that way you will be able to understand how you will be reacting according to your rising sign. Welcome to my tarot card reading for January 2015, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Virgo, this is your reading. We have karma, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Two of Swords, and the Prince of Wands, representing the Chariot Sagittarius with Jupiter and the North Node. The Prince of Wands is showing the tendency for you during this time of the year. And Jupiter, the planet that is benefic, sometimes he's so benefic that instead of helping, he might do a little bit of harm. He likes to exaggerate things. Sometimes he goes to the idealistic side of things. Jupiter is also related with the law, philosophy, religion, spirituality. So there's going to be a tendency along that line. Also a tendency for anything related with higher studies, a career, a profession, or traveling. Anything along that line is affected. There is a possibility for you during January 2015. Okay? The only problem is that we have here all these cards that are upside down, letting us know that there's going to be osokbo, challenges, difficulties, threats regarding everything that I mentioned here related with Jupiter. Okay? There is going to be a fear to change. There is going to be a reluctant attitude towards change. The dynamic here is a very erratic dynamic. The energy is very, 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 very strong. There's going to be a lot of changes, and it seems like you're going to resist the change, or you are afraid of it, or you might feel some kind of apprehension. Okay, the Two of Swords and the Karma card, they're very similar in meaning, because we're talking about energy that is very erratic. It's kind of a fight, arguments, quarrels, divisions, all this kind of stuff. Okay, and considering that here we have Sagittarius, Jupiter, the possibility that the law is involved there is highly probable. Courts, lawsuits, demands, whatever it is highly probable involved. My best advice is, Virgo, take time to find time, solace, travel, read something, try to find some kind of help, be it by a lawyer, spiritual counselor, whatever it is, but you need that in order to deal with this situation that is going to be kind of hairy during the month of January for you. Okay, let's say that my best advice is try to seek advice. It seems like it's going to be a little bit dark. You're going to be a little bit afraid, so you need help from an outside source. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you for January 2015. Don't forget that at the end we have the rising sign, and that way you will be able to see how you will be handling this dynamic throughout this month. Welcome to my tarot card reading for January 2015, Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Capricorn, this is your reading. We have Babalu, we have the Hangman, we have the Knight of Swords representing St. George, and we have Mercury Libra, the Four of Swords. Notice that we have swords, and then the Hangman. And notice that around the Hangman's head we have a bright yellow light. And therefore this is all about thinking. This is all about doing, thinking, doing, contemplating, etc. And this is going to be more an advice. Well, I'm going to give it as an advice. Let's first analyze the cards. We have St. George, the Knight of Swords, with the dragon that he killed. There's not a lot to say here. The Hangman. This is about a sacrifice that is not going to be made, or you are not willing to do. You're holding back on something. That could be good, that could be bad. But then we have Babalu. And Babalu is the one that causes diseases according to Yoruba religion. But for me, in this card also means contracts. And it means contracts for a very simple reason. The two stories that I know where Babalu is the main character, the first one, he made a promise that he will not lay his hand on this beautiful, gorgeous girl. He forgot the promise, and he did. He suffered the consequences. The other story is that he got drunk, he lost control, and he technically cursed everyone in a party, in a big party, that he was dancing. Because he was handicapped, he fell, and everyone laughed at him. He lost control, and he cursed everyone, and everyone got sick. Okay? So this is about losing control and not keeping a promise, or not holding up on a promise or a contract made, be it verbal or written. So now the Hangman gets another connotation. So during this time of the year, my dear Capricorn, you have to be very, very careful. Mercury, you have to be very careful on what you promise or what you write, what kind of contract you're signing. Be very careful with what you promise and what you sign. There's going to be a reluctance of you at the end of not keeping the promise. In the long run, you won't be able to honor your promise or honor the contract that you sign. Therefore, the advice is be careful of what you sign or you promise. Okay? That's the advice. If you want to be victorious, be very practical and realistic. Okay? That's the best advice I can give you, my dear Capricorn. Now, let's pay attention to the rising sign, which is at the end, and it's going to let you understand the dynamic of what I just mentioned according to your rising sign. Welcome to my tarot card reading for the month of January 2015, Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And this is the rising sign. If your rising sign is in Aries, my dear Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, this is all about, before I forget, Aries rules the head. And notice the sword, King of Swords. This is about the mind, thinking, analysis. And this is very good for you if you are a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn with a rising sign in Aries. It means, Taurus, that you are going to be, there's going to be a tendency, let's put it like that, of being a little bit more practical about your goals, objectives in life. You are going to be a little bit more clear about it, how practical it is, and that's very helpful. Virgo, the same way. You're going to be very practical. You're going to be clear. You're going to see you will be able to understand very clearly the magnitude of the dynamic that you're going to be confronting during 2015, January 2015. And my best advice is seek always professional help. Okay? The same thing with you, Capricorn. Aries is going to help you, even though it's kind of impulsive, but at the same time, Aries is going to help you, the rising sign is going to help you to understand in a very clear way the magnitude of the promise or the signature that you're giving during January 2015. If your rising sign is Taurus, my dear earth signs, this is about fishy. Let's say it like this. There's something fishy, something hidden, something that doesn't smell right. And if you are a Taurus with a rising sign in Taurus, my dear Taurus, you have to be very, very, very careful with following your objectives. Be very, very analytical. You might get into a situation that you really don't understand yet. Okay? Be realistic and not idealistic. That's my best advice. If your rising sign is Taurus, my dear Virgo, notice a lot of cards are upside down. There is something wrong here, and you won't be able to see and understand where's the problem. You really need help from an outside source. Okay? Capricorn, there's something fishy. Be careful what you sign and what you promise. Okay? There's something fishy here. If your rising sign is Gemini, my dear earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, be careful, because it's signaling that you're going to be grieving a loss. So following your dreams, if you are very idealistic and not realistic, my dear Taurus, is going to take you to a road of losing something. And you're going to lose something. Virgo, the same way. There is a loss involved here. So you have to be careful. That's why you need help. An outside source that is capable of helping you with this situation. Capricorn, careful with what you are going to sign or you're going to promise. Be it verbal or written. Careful. It involves a loss. If your rising sign is Cancer, domestic issues, things related with the family, okay, are highly probably involved here. So my best advice is the same thing. Don't be too idealistic in family matters if you're a Taurus. And whatever is the issue in your family, my dear Virgo, that is kind of chaotic, you need professional help, be it a psychologist, a lawyer, whatever it is. Okay? Capricorn, careful what you promise. Careful what you promise. Okay? If you got married and you promised something, You have to hold into that promise. Okay? You know what I'm insinuating here. So, this is all about promises, but it's closely related with family matter, domestic issues, and that involves also the kids. Okay? So, keep that in mind. If your rising sign is Leo, my dear Taurus, this is all about growth. So if you're capable of keeping your goals, objectives, missions, ambitions quite practical, you can be 100% sure that there's going to be growth. Everything will flourish for you. Virgo, even if you are seeing a chaos unfolding, you have to be sure that if you do the right thing and you look for help, there's going to be great things for you. Capricorn, if you're careful of what you sign, if you're very careful of what you say or you promise, and remember that even a marriage is a promise, everything is going to be fine and you will be seeing everything unfolding in a very positive way. My dear earth signs, if you are a Virgo rising sign, all this dynamic is going to bring changes, a lot of changes, but at the same time it's going to make you think and analyze. And this is really great for you, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, because it's going to help you spot the problem or the weakest link, if we could say, if we can use that expression. Okay? If your rising sign is Libra, my dear earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're going to leave behind many things. You're going to leave behind whatever it is if that you have to leave behind in order to follow your dreams. You're going to leave behind all this chaos. Probably you got tired of it and you leave behind all that stuff. That could include also a divorce. Okay? You are just leaving behind many things, Virgo. Capricorn, this is why I'm letting you know that to be very careful of what you promised and what you signed. Because if you have a rising sign in Libra, the possibilities that you are not going to comply are really high. If your rising sign is a Scorpio, my dear earth signs, we have here the King of Wands that is very similar to the Emperor, and it also represents Aries here. So what we have here is changes, reorganization, we could say impulsivity, but this kind of impulsivity is very different because this time is coming from life and there are going to be changes because this is Scorpio, but these changes are more stagnant, are related with things that are stagnant. Therefore, Taurus, following your dreams might mean that you get into a situation that everything gets stuck, nothing moves. Virgo, things are going to get very stagnant. You need help. I've been saying it. And if your rising sign is Scorpio, my dear Capricorn, the same goes with you. Careful what you sign. It might bring you problems. It might create stagnation in your life. If your rising sign is Sagittarius, my dear earth signs, what we're going to see is that you are going to grow tired of the same, of the routine. There's a desire to explore, to navigate, to discover. That's probably why, my dear Taurus, you want to go after your dreams. But just make sure that you're very realistic and you are practical. Virgo, you got tired of the same BS, of the same mess, the same problem, the same fights, the same arguments. Everything is stagnant, nothing moves. Even if you are afraid of moving on, there is a desire for you to just move on. Okay, it sounds like a contradiction, but that's how we humans are. And then we have Capricorn here. If your rising sign is Sagittarius, my dear Capricorn, what we have here is you're tired of this contract. You want something different, something new. It could mean that you want a new marriage. You're tired, you're bored of the same stuff. You got tired of the promise that you made. You got tired of the contract that you signed, and you just want technically get rid of it. Okay, you want something new, a new contract, a new promise, etc., etc. If your rising sign is Capricorn, you're going to be a little bit stubborn, my dear earth signs. That means that you're going to be very defensive. You're going to defend your position, your point of view of what you want to do. Especially if you're a Taurus. Those are your dreams, and I don't care what others have to say. I'm going to do it. That's technically your attitude toward this time of the year. If you're a Virgo, this defensive mode, this paranoia is going to be really great for you, because it's going to help you to face and be prepared for what is coming from 2015. If your rising sign, Capricorn, is Aquarius, Capricorn, if it is Capricorn, my dear Capricorn, this is not going to be really good for you, because you're going to be very impulsive, and you're going to do whatever you feel like you have to do. You're going to be very impulsive, very stubborn. You're not going to listen to the reasoning, and at the end you're going to do what you're going to do, and you might regret it at the end. Okay, that's the negative way. On the positive way, you might be on the defensive mode, and you're going to be very careful what you sign and everything, what you promise. I hope that's the last choice for you. If your rising sign is Aquarius, my dear earth signs, we have the 8 of Swords, letting us know that some way, somehow, you just blind yourself and you jump into action. You just do whatever is, in other words, you get into the problem, the mess. You don't care. You want to do it, and you just do it. There's not much to say. And if your rising sign is Pisces, your attitude of you're going to defend your way, your point of view. You're going to be blinded for what you want to do. You're going to defend yourself, but the consequence is that you're going to hurt anyone that gets closer. Okay, so you're in following your dreams. That could be a little bit bad, because you might hurt other people in pursuing your dreams, especially if they're not realistic. In your case, Virgo, this might be really great, because you know that you are in a fight, you know that you are at war, and you just don't care. For you, anyone is your enemy, and anyone could end up hurt. Okay? If you are Capricorn with a rising sign in Pisces, my dear Capricorn, you are going to be very stubborn. You don't care. You're just going to do what you have to do. If you have to sign, you're going to sign, even if that means that signing that paper or making that promise at the long run is going to hurt someone else. That's what I have for you for January 2015, my dear earth signs.